Don't beg, don't explain, don't chase. She thought she had you figured out. Fatude, wait, overthink, maybe even plead. But the moment you stop reacting, the power shifts. When you pull back with discipline, not drama, you create space that speaks. Louder than any message you could send. Here's the truth. Eden Esser pulls, but self-respect attracts. Themor, you try to prove your worth. Theolis, she sees it. That's why silence, distance, and composure are your greatest weapons. Not to punish her, but to elevate yourself. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to make that shift. The mindset. The actions, the energy thought, makes her realize the man she left behind isn't waiting. It's becoming fun for Jettle. Let's get started. Disappear with dignity. Number 1, disappear with dignity. Don't storm out. Don't explain. Just exit with grace. When you walk away calmly, without noise or bitterness, it creates curiosity, not closure. A Stoic man doesn't retreat in anger. He withdraws to protect his peace. And thought's the key. Protecting your peace. You see, disappearing with dignity isn't about punishing anyone. It's not about chewing someone what they've lost or trying to trigger regret. It's about choosing yourself quietly and doing it with such self-control that it echoes louder than any dramatic goodbye ever called. Let's say you're in a situation where someone you deeply cared for no longer sees your value. Maybe they've taken you for granted. Maybe they've peeled away. Maybe they've even you. The impulsive response will be to demand answers, to vent your frustration, to explain your worth one last time. But a man rooted in self-mastery knows, if you have token-convinced someone to see your value, they were never ready for it to begin with. So, instead of explaining, you simply leave the room physically, emotionally, energetically. No warning, no spectacle, no need to be understood because understanding is not owed. And peace is not something you beg for, something you build and guard. Cyrilius once said, "The best revenge isto, be unlike him who performed thine jury." That's what disappearing with dignity looks like. You don't mirror the cows. Don't retaliate. You just silently. And that silence, that restraint, it speaks volumes. Lingers in their memory longer than any word Seaver could. They may wonder why you didn't react, why you didn't chase, why you vanished so calmly. And that's sexically what makes it powerful. Bakuso didn't leave in weakness. You left in wisdom. So, if you're at that point, don't slam the door. Don't post a cryptic message. Just go quietly, peacefully, with your head held high. That's how a man disappears with dignity.
Nice.
And ironically, that's often when they start to truly feel your absence. And not because you shouted, but because you no longer needed to. Be heard. And before we move forward, you want to hear from you? Has there ever been a time when you chose peace over proving a point? When you walked away, not to punish, but to protect your energy? Share your thoughts in the comments. Or if you're keeping it. Simple Tode. Just type, "I walked away with grace, not anger."
Oh.
I read every comment, and your story might resonate with someone who needs to hear it. Now let's move to the next point. Because the journey of mastering yourself doesn't stop when you walk away. That's only the beginning. Upgrade in silence. Number 2. Upgrade in silence. Let your transformation be invisible lunal. It's undeniable. Grow. Privately, new habits. Sharper focus. Cleaner energy. No announcement needed. Not every move you make needs an audience. Not every change you commit to requires applause. The truth is, when you're really serious about growth, the work becomes internal, quiet, disciplined, and often misunderstood by those who are used to the older version of you. Think about it. Have you ever started improving something in your life and felt the urge to tell everyone to prove our leveling up? But the Stoics remind us that real progress doesn't need to be broadcast. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." That's the essence of silent growth. You don't need to convince anyone you've changed. Your actions, consistent, calm, and elevated, will do the speaking for you when the time is right. Imagine Ethos. You stop chasing drama. You begin eating cleaner, waking up earlier, guarding your energy like it's sacred. People might not notice at first. Some might even question your distance, Yorkham. Your sudden disinterest in all the bits. That's okay. Let them wonder. You're not here to be loud about your path. You're here to walk it. Silence, it gives you space to refine yourself without interference. It protects you from premature judgment and allows you evolution to take root deeply. When you prayed in silence, you cultivate Detachment from within. Anchored, not performative. So, if you're in that season now, where you're making changes, but no one seems to see it, keep going. You're not doing it for recognition. You're doing it because you're becoming. And eventually they'll realize something's different. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel it. That's the power of braiding in silence. Keep building, keep evolving. Just don't pause. Tone ounce it. Protect your energy like it's gold. Number 3. Protect your energy like it's gold. Stop giving attention where it's no reciprocated. Your energy is a luxury. Spend it where it grows, not where it drains. Think about it. Would you hand out gold to people who don't value it, who toss it aside or treat it like it's worthless? Of course not. So why offer your time, peace, and emotional presentito situations that rob you of your strength instead of replenishing it? When you're constantly overextending for people who only show up when it's convenient, you're not being generous. You're being reckless with your inner resources. Protecting your energy means setting boundaries without needing to explain them. It means walking away from conversations that go in circles, from people who dim your light, and from habits that slowly drain your fire. Not with bitterness, but with clarity. The Stoics had a word for this kind of inner discipline. Upa, healthy motion rooted in reason. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself often, you have power over your mind, not outsidavance. That includes how you respond to people's indifference or chaos. You'd know everyone access to your mind, your peace, or your energy. That's reserved for the few who reflect your values, not just your effort. Imagine some men giving you their undivided reasons, their loyalty, their calm. Botu barely noticed. Eventually they'd withdraw, right? That's the same principle. So be intentional. Your energy is sacred. Treat it like something precious, because it is. And when you protect it, you not only guard your peace, you also raise your value, quietly, powerfully. Let your peace be your proof. Let your self-respect speak louder than any reaction. You don't need to convince others to see your worth. Just stop. Handing it out for free. Let her feel the emptiness. Number 4. Let her feel the emptiness. Don't fill the space she left. Let the silence stretch. When she realizes you are not chasing, she starts wondering you. Marcus Aurelius taught us, absence isn't punishment. It's presence without appendency. And that's exactly the point. You're not trying to make her suffer. Simply refusing to beg for the spot she chose to walk away from. There's a difference between being distant out of bitterness and being distant out of self-respect. The Stoic doesn't move out of impulse. He moves or doesn't for a reason. Wench feels. Your absence, what really gets to her, isn't the lack of your voice, your messages, or your affection. It's the sudden realization that your world didn't fall apart without her. Think about it. Every time she pulls away, you come running. She learns that your love has no boundaries. But when you hold your ground, when you let her feel void she created, something shifts. That void becomes a mirror. She starts to see what she used to have. Not just a man who cared, but a man who stood tallying the face of rejection. A man anchored in self-control doesn't panic when attention disappears. He doesn't rush to fix what wasn't broken on his end. He gives the other person space, not to manipulate them, but to reveal the contrast between chaos and his calm. So let her feel it. Let the silence speak for you. You don't need to explain yourself. Your dignity does that for you. And in that space, you're not just showing her what she lost. You're reminding yourself of what you won. Peace, clarity, and power over your emotions. That's not emptiness. That's presence with purpose. This message resonates with you? Take a moment to reflect. Have I been rushing to fill a space that's a man? else chose to leave? Or have you learned to let your stillness speak louder than your words? Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. The silence carry the weight of fear growth. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below or simply type, "Not reacting is my new strength." Let's see how many of you are choosing calm over chaos. Stay unavailable, but not bitter. Number 5. Stay unavailable, but not bitter. You're not playing hard to get. You've simply raised the price of access, and no, it's not out of pride. It's from clarity. You've seen what happens when you give too much of yourself to those who didn't earn it. So now you move differently, not with resentment, not with anger, but with intention. There's a big difference between being distant and being disciplined. When you're unavailable, people might think you're cold or detached. But the truth is, you've just stopped placing your time, your energy, your peace into hands that fumbled it before. You're not shutting doors to hurt anyone. You're closing them to protect what you built. The Stoics taught us that self-respect is not about ego. It's about alignment with our highest self. Marcus Aurelius didn't say avoid others, but he did say avoid becoming what you hate. And bitterness, no matter how justified, corrodes you more than anyone else. That's why your absence has no malice. It has meaning. You're still kind, still composed, but no longer available to chaos. You'll manifest your distance and assume you've stopped caring. But that's not it. You've just stopped explaining yourself. Those who never listened. Let her wonder. Let her feel the difference between access and availability. The version of you that used to overextend, overgive, and over-apologize, he's gone. What remains is a man who chooses his peace over his past and his standards over his need to be understood. So no, you're not bitter. You're just better. And that changes everything. Level up your environment. Level up your environment, your room, your habits, your circle, its hold. All reflect your new standards. She'll notice when the old you no longer lives there. And more importantly, Yao will feel it first. Because when you step into a space that mirrors who you're becoming, not who you were, it creates a shift. Your environment becomes a silent coach, a reminder of discipline you've chosen and the peace you now protect. Think about it. You can't expect growth while being surrounded by clutter, distractions. And people who still think of you as the man you outgrew, Stoicism teaches us to align our external with our internal. Marcus Aurelius didn't just write about virtue, he lived it daily, surrounded by simplicity, by purpose, and by order. It wasn't just for looks, it was to strengthen clarity and reduce chaos. Maybe it starts with something small, clearing out that drawer that holds memories you've already outgrown, removing items that no longer serve the person you are becoming. Rearrange your space so it energizes you instead of draining you. Or maybe it means distancing yourself from voices that constantly echo your past. Whatever it is, don't underestimate the power of subtle shifts. Because little by little, your environment either fuels your progress or pulls you back into patterns. When a woman walks into your life or into your space, she'll feel the difference. Without you having to say a word, you've upgraded not to impress, but to evolve. And that quiet confidence that Stoicism lived, not performed. Keep leveling up, not for anyone else, but because your peace mans it. Number 7. Let go of needing closure and enclosure. If she left without explanation, Danche's answers. You don't need her words to heal. You need your own peace, Tomov. I know that feeling. The questions, the late-night overthinking, wondering why she pulled away, what you did wrong, or what she might be feeling. No, but the truth is, closure isn't something someone gives you. It's a mything you choose for yourself. If Somione walks out without offering clarity, that says more than any explanation ever could. Seneca said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than necessary." And that's exactly what happens when you wait for someone else to make you feel better about their absence. Stoicism teaches you that peace doesn't come from external validation, it comes from mastering how to respond, instead of replaying a very conversation in your head. Trying to solve a puzzle that was never yours to finish. Shift your focus inward. Choose to let go, not because it's easy, but because holding on is costing you too much. Picture this. You're walking through a storm, hoping someone who left you in the rain will come back with an umbrella. But what if you stopped waiting and built your own shelter instead? That's strength. That's self-respect. And ironically, when you no longer need closure, you become the closure. You become the calm after the storm. Let go. Not to forget, not to raise, but to free yourself from the burden of needing answers that may never come. You don't have to understand why you left to start healing. All you need is the decision to stop giving your peace away to someone who didn't protect it. That's where your power begins. And no, I want to hear from you. What helped you start letting go? Was it a moment, a quote, a shift in perspective? Or maybe you're still in that storm trying to build your shelter. Either way, raise thoughts in the comments or just type detachment. Gave me back my power if this message spoke to you. Eric Diesuel. Story might be exactly what someone else needs to read right now. Let's keep moving forward because the next step is all about reclaiming your energy and drawing the narrative on your terms. Build an aura of calm power, number 8. Build an aura of calm power. No reactions, no drama. With a message or a story, you remain unshaken. That contrast powerful because it's not about playing cold or detached. It's about being gentered. When you've built yourself from the inside out, you don't flinch at her emotional waves. You observe your breath. You choose your response instead of being pulled into the storm. That's what sets you apart. Imagine she sends a message designed to provoke. Maybe it's casual. Maybe it's baiting. But instead of rushing to answer or defend your worth, you pause. You're not ignoring her out of spite. You're simply showing that your peace doesn't depend on her attention. That's what a Stoic man does. He owns his space. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it." When you understand that, you stop letting someone else dictate your emotional state. You become the still lake, not the crashing wave. And here's the twist. She feels it. That calm energy, it draws people. And it makes them wonder why you're not affected, why you're not chasing. It's not arrogance, it's depth. It's the kind of power that doesn't need to speak loudly, it's felt. So keep building that aura, not through force, but through discipline, through self-respect. Through quiet strength, you'll notice something beautiful. Thelis, you try to prove your value. The more undeniable it becomes. Show her you've outgrown her old version, number 9. Show her you've outgrown her old version. She won't come back because you begged. She'll come back when she realizes it's the man she once knew isn't the man standing now. And the shift doesn't come from posting quotes, showing off change, or trying to prove something. It comes when your energy says it for you. When your silence holds more weight than your old explanations ever did. You use Toriact. You used to need closure, reassurance, validation. But now you move with calm, with clarity, with direction. You're no longer the man who waited around hoping she'd see your worth. You became a man who no longer needs to be seen by her talk know his worth. Imagine running into Heronday. You don't act cold. You're not bitter. You're simply different, sharper, more composed. She expects familiarity, but what she gets instead is detachment, dressed in self-respect. That's when it hits her. She no longer recognizes you. And that unfamiliarity is what pulls her in. The version of you she once knew couldn't let go. But the man you are now, he let go, with grace and grew in silence. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content, Tobe." Thought foolish and stupid. You weren't chasing her understanding. You were focused on becoming something bitter, regardless of whether she noticed. And now that she does, that realization is what stings the most. Because what once was familiar comfortus, now a mirror reflecting everything she lost. Not because you punished her, but because you evolved beyond the version she thought would always better. Let her chase the man you've become. Number 10. Let her chase the man you single quotes v. Become the tables turn when you no longer try to prove you're enough. A. When you focus in becoming more, she feels it. There's something unshakable about a man. Wha stops seeking validation and starts living with purpose. You're no longer chasing her approval, her attention, or her texts. You're chasing your own potential. And ironically, that shift That's what makes her notice you a lover again. Think about it. When you wear trying to win her back, maybe with long messages, emotional calls, or constant availability, you were giving her the power. But the moment you pulled that energy inward and directed it toward yourself, your goals, your mindset, your standards, everything changed. That's the man she begins to wonder about. That's the man she starts watching quietly from afar. A stoic monk knows this truth. You don't need to persuade someone to value you. You need to become someone who values himself so deeply that others are drawn to your calm, your clarity, and your presence. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then doubt you have to do. You're doing just thought now. Let her feel the distance. Note as punishment, but as proof that you're evolving. You've upgraded from who you were when she knew you. You've stopped reacting. You've started becoming. And when she finally looks back, she won't see the same man she walked away from. She'll see someone she now has to earn. And that, my friend, is the real reversal. Not because you played a game, but because you stepped into your own gravity. And now I want you to take a second and ask yourself, what kind of men are you becoming when no one's watching? That's where the shift really happens. It's not about proving anything to her. It's about proving to yourself that you no longer need to. The moment you stop performing and start transforming, you begin to radiate a presence that speaks louder than words. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you felt this shift in your own journey? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Or just type, "I'm becoming man she never saw coming." If this resonated with you, let's move on to what happens when she finally starts to feel that change. Remember, you are the prize. Number 11. Remember, you are the prize. At your best, you don't wait to be chosen. You choose. She left. Fine. Now, you lead with purpose, peace, and poise. And that's not just confidence. It's clarity. A man who understands his value doesn't crumble when someone walks away. Instead, he quietly steps forward, knowing that weight brings to the table is rare. You're not here to convince anyone of your worth. You're here to live it, breathe it, and embody it. Let me give you something to think about. Imagine a man well used to constantly overextend himself to keep someone interested. He texted too much, explained too often, apologized for simply being himself. But in something changed, learned to out with himself, to build his life from inside out. He read, trained, sharpened his mind, set goals. And in doing so, he stopped seeking validation and started creating value. That's when everything shifted. The same people who ignored him started to notice. Why? Because energy doesn't lie. A man grounded in self-respect amidst something's thought can't be faked. That's what Stoicism is about. Not coldness, but composure. Marcus Aurelius reminded Eusto, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. When you embrace that, you no longer ask, why didn't she choose me? Instead, you ask, am I showing up as the man I'm proud to? That's a different kind of power. Acum power. One that doesn't need loud declarations or approval to stand tall. So, next time you're tempted to chase what left you, pause, breathe, re-enter. You're not here to convince anyone to stay. You're here to evolve and let Therite people recognize you on their own time, because the prize doesn't beg. That prize doesn't perform. But the prize simply exists and is valued by those who can see it. So, what's the real secret? What's conclusion not about? Chasing her. It's not about convince her to see your worth. It's about becoming the man who sees themselves clearly, calmly, and without needing applause. Because when a stoic man lets go, not from ego, but from evolution, something shifts. You stop reacting and start attracting. You stop waiting and start rising. And that peace you carry, it lingers in her mind longer than any message you could have. Sent, let her feel the change. Let her wonder. And if she comes back, it'll be on your terms. Not because you begged, but because you became unforgettable. Now tell me, what part of this hit you most? Drop your thoughts below, or tip, I choose power over pursuit. And if you're ready for the next level, the next video is waiting.